Okay, so I did 6.3 first. So this is journal entry 5.2. And I'm going to be kind of going over cultural humility and, um, you know, how we keep our clients safe in labor. Um, I haven't had, I mean, we've had, as a midwifery student, I've had a lot of different clients from different backgrounds, different cultures. As a doula, um, in the hospital, I actually saw more racism and um, discrimination than I've ever seen in home birth here. Um, and It's actually kind of one of the reasons I became um, or wanted to become a midwife. I had I had a client when I was a doula, and she was a wonderful black girl, black woman, um, and she, had a degree in psychology. She had had some mental health issues and drug issues, and she had ended up leaving her job and ended up leaving school. And during that time, she met somebody and she got pregnant. And I was their doula from the nonprofit that I worked for. And um, she was lovely. She was an awesome person. There were definitely issues, and she told me that she had, mental health issues. And we just, did our best and talked a lot and really liked her. When I got the call that she was in labor, um, she was, having some intense contractions and having some intense contractions. And when I got to the hospital, she was in a lot of pain and screaming for an epidural, screaming for pain management, and there were no doctors around. And they had told her to, just wait, that she didn't need an epidural right now. She wasn't in a place to get an epidural. And then there was nobody around. Um, my client was screaming and begging me for some type of pain relief. And so I um, finally found an anesthesiologist that would um, give her some relief, and she got it. And then I spent the night in the hospital room, and the next day, she started to feel pressure, and she labored down. She got to 10 centimeters, and the baby had terminal mech as she was pushing, and then the doctor let the boyfriend catch, but kind of flung the baby. And so the baby ended up getting a broken clavicle. And they did not let me know when I was at the hospital. And at the time, it's because I was a doula, I'm sure of it. And they said, Apgar's score was 9. The baby was acting really lethargic and didn't want to latch. And so they just ushered me out of the room. My client called me the next day and told me that the baby's clavicle was broken and the baby was in NICU. In that particular hospital, I had never seen a white parent treated that way. And I do believe it was because they had a lot of bias towards her, um, and why her outcome ended up being so dramatic. And, as far as cultural humility and non judgment and non bias, and not non bias, but no implicit bias, I really did not think that. I couldn't believe that we had a system where people were being treated differently because of the way they looked. So, it's one of the reasons why I want to be a midwife, is because of the way people who are not treated well because of the way they look or how they act, or they're from a different cultural background, or they have mental illness, they can hopefully get the care that they deserve. And so I hope going forward, because I have met midwives who still very much have a lot of judgment and bias and racism, and they're in the home birth midwife community. I hope that they could look up what cultural humility is and make a little bit of change, because our hospital system is rooted in racism, and it's awful. So, yeah. That's the end of my journal entry. Thanks.